The continent of Ramesh is a unique and varied place full of many cultures. Residents of the continent are never far from a fantastic new place, and since I am unsure how much longer this library project or my mortal form will last, I believe it prudent to quickly go over the different nations and countries within the continent of Ramesh. Excuse the generalizations of the countries oncoming. Firstly, there is the nation of Zel. The ever-expanding nation is the military powerhouse of the continent. With the mindset of conquerors, Zel has absorbed many of its neighbors. Yet, Zel's influence might finally be waning. Arquette has recently declared its independence from Zel. However, all who are knowledgeable in politics are aware that this is a temporary setback for the nation. Their military might is still terrifying, and their patron material god still desires new lands. Next there is Kovarov. Home to the northern will, Kovarov rules the northern wastes of Ramesh. Loyal to the god Varov, the people of the north hate magic and love vodka. They are the richest nation, with vast deposits of minerals and ore. While peace-loving, Kovarov is thought to be a sleeping giant. If the nation ever unleashed its vast resources and moved over the Graveti Mountains, Ramesh might need to band together to stop the oncoming horde. Next is Breoa. The seafaring people of Breoa were born into a harsh landscape. Their soil does not grow bountiful crops or produce rich oil deposits. To compensate, the Breoans have become master sailors and raiders. Their ships sail the seas and rivers of Ramesh, taking anything of value they come across. They are aided by their ability to tame elementals. This skill, which is a closely guarded secret by the Breoans, but known and guarded by the Shivo Library, allows them to infuse their vessels with elemental energy. I've had to use this secret to threaten Brekendal once or twice to stay away from my fucking libraries. After we delivered them one or two cursed books, the Breoans have decided it is best to leave the Shivo interplanar libraries and offices alone. Now, the newest country, Arquette. Loyal to the new god Ark, the Lotus Mother, the people of Arquette believe in going back to nature. They fully embrace the natural world and attempt to live in harmony with it. Their cities, towns, and hamlets are lush, filled with life and wonder. So far, they have survived Zel's pushes to reclaim it through powerful diplomatic bonds and the great destruction caused by the event known as the Shaking of Zel, in which thousands of people died in this is not a recording about that event. Perhaps we'll talk about the Shaking of Zel at a later point. There are also some lands in Ramesh that are not claimed by any one nation. They are lands filled with city-states, independent hamlets, and roving war bands. Individual material gods rule small regions, providing power to their few followers. Maps of the land are almost never made. Cartographers rarely can traverse the land safely. Furthermore, as soon as a map is made, it is almost always out of date. Villages can disappear in a night due to both men and monsters. The unclaimed lands are a place of change, chaos, and for some, opportunity. But then there are the dragons. At the end of the Sea of Glass lies the islands that make up the Draconic Kingdom. Here, away from the main continent of Ramesh, the Council of Scales rule. Many reptilian races like kobolds, troglodytes, and dragonborn hail from these lands. On the opposite side of the continent, near the Roaring Sea, is Aquar. It lies below icy waters at the edge of the Prime Ring. At the edge of a deep oceanic trench, Aquar houses all wonders of the undersea world. Many wonders from the ancient Ganassi Empire can be found here. Traders bring their ships above the submerged city often, waiting for merchants to rise to the surface and provide them with all manner of undersea oceanic goods. There's still more room on this archive crystal. I suppose we could cover as well the Dark Ring and the Primordial Ring. The most dangerous ring, the Dark Ring, is home to many horrors. Not only do the Mind Flayers call this ring home, constructing their massive underground fortresses in the apocalyptic landscape, but also constant Nyx attacks. The Nyx are the race of gray-skinned humanoids that live on the Dark Ring. They and those who call the Dark Ring home, including members of the Shivo Library, are called Sadians by outsiders. I never considered myself a Sadian, but I suppose that I am, considering the office in which I'm recording this message is on the Dark Ring. But I've always wanted to move the office eventually to the Primordial Ring. Filled with primordial energy, the Primordial Ring is home to the Fae. However, with so much primordial energy, things can sometimes become warped. The high god Emotion is said to have their home on this ring, and scholars have theorized that this is the cause of the ring's strange nature. I think that this is a crackpot theory, as I do not believe the high gods actually possess a physical body. It is much more likely that the primordial energy has a certain resonance to it. Certain parts of the ring harness certain resonant frequencies, creating different results. I believe in the chaos of the primordial ring there is actually order, although currently the Shivo Libraries does not have the resources in order to research that theory. Maybe I can convince Malik to give up on his studies of Aether and journey to the primordial ring with me, just for a time. I quite do like that idea. Seer vocalizations. Luck. End transmission of Raymond Shivo.